Hello. When we speak about financial stability, we're actually talking about rebuilding, and especially for you who have been through a divorce, it's time to rebuild. I know from experience that finances becomes one of the biggest thing when going through a divorce or when you're divorced. What happens is that, remember, there's no longer two monies coming together. It's just you. And for many who are divorced, it becomes one of the biggest challenge that you'll experience. So that's one of the things that we'll tackle. One of the pillars that we talk about, assessing where we're at financially in order for us to gain some stability down the line. And in this section, we're going to put everything on the table. I know it can be challenging and outright really scary when you look at the finances, your income, and what is going out. When you look at those things, when you're actually seeing them, it becomes one of the biggest stumped that you'll get. But you have lived this, or you're actually living this. So it's just putting it on the table so you can see it. And with that, you can take actionable steps to get this done. By the end of this video, you will have a clear roadmap to take control of your finances and move forward to a secure financial future. How about that? With that said, it takes work. It takes work to get this done. In this video, we are going to gather all our finances. Remember, I said we have to put them on the table. You have to list all of the source of your income, your salary, if you're getting child support, if you're getting alimony, you have to put those down. And then come the expenses. So you're going to list your expenses. We talk about a fixed expense, is that those that are coming in that you have to pay out every month, every week, those are fixed. Those, when we talk about those things, we're talking about light bills. We're talking about if you have a mortgage, we're talking about those fixed. And then there are the variables. Those are the things that are not fixed, but they vary. And one of the biggest thing that you'll come in and you'll face with is the thing that you was a plan for. It has nothing to do with your fixed or your variables. So those are some of the things that you're going to be listing. Another thing in gathering your finances and looking at them is that you're going to, after listing all of your monthlies, you're going to identify the debts that you're paying out. You know, that's like credit cards, loans. Um, we also look at your savings. If you have any savings, we have to put those things down. So it's like getting naked about your finances. That's what we're talking about. You're getting naked about your finances, and it can be challenging, but we have to. We have to make sure that we're doing that. That's the task in itself, you know? And so, what I'm going to suggest here is using a budget app or a spreadsheet to organize this information. There are many apps outside there that give you the ability to be able to plug and go. And then there's the other spreadsheet. And if you're like me, you want to look at the spreadsheet and kind of organize where you're going and see it. That person wants to write down, or you can write it down and then you can plug it in, right? So for that, you will get a spreadsheet and you'll get the links to the apps, So at this time, this is one of the biggest challenges that I faced and that many of my clients face, because the reality is that this is huge and this is a big stressor. I can guarantee you, if you go through the steps, if you take the actions, at the end of this course, you will love yourself for doing all of this. So at this time, what we're going to do is that we're just going to go in and we're going to make sure that we're gathering all the finances, sit down, write them down, and then we're going to be plugging them in into our apps, or we're going to be writing them down on the spreadsheet. Um, the spreadsheet actually, and at this time we'll pause, because what we'll do is that we'll give you some time to take action, get into your spreadsheets, and then you will go and you'll have a nervousness, like I said before, but you'll be fine. Yes, very, very, very important for you to do this. We also have to talk about categories. When we're talking about the expenses, we're talking about categories of expenses. When we talk about categories, we separate the needs from our wants. I know that there are things that we really, really, really need, and there are things that we don't really need. It's just things that we want. So this is where we are going to separate our needs from our wants. What is your need? Well, if you have to pay your mortgage, you have to pay your rent, your utilities, like I really touched on earlier, um, you're gonna have to do that. We must have groceries, right? And transportation, going back and forth to work, getting the kids back and forth is what those are needs. Those are considered really necessities. So those are needs. Or wants, or what you did before, and what you're really not able to afford right now, like dining out, you know, that can be hard, right? Uh, like dining out, you're gonna have to put that on the back burner. Subscription, pay for subscription that you really don't need. Like for many of us, we have a gym thing going on, but we really don't go. We can go for a walk. You can go for a walk and you can do the same thing. And trust me, it's therapeutic to go for a walk. So you don't need that subscription or the non-essential shopping that we do spontaneously. We want to get that. We want it. We want it. We want it. Now, we're not in a position to take care of the wants. So right now, we're going to stick to our needs. One of the things I find when I was going through my divorce and the challenges of getting financially secure, I used to ask myself questions. So I want you to ask yourself this question. Does this expense align with my financial goals at this time? Ask yourself that question again. Does this expense, this want, does it align with my financial goal at this time? And if it does not, then you can't do it. You can't want, when we think about it, you look at a, a chart and you're looking at the things that we are going to divide your needs from your wants. And at this time, you're going to say to yourself is that it depends on where you're leaning to. And that will determine exactly what you need to focus on when you're categorizing your expenses. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to continue to do. You're going to assess. You're going to categorize, right? And then remember we talk about the plan that we're going to create this plan is really a budget for you. We're going to create a budget plan that is going to get you from a place where you don't know where your finances is. You're taking from Peter to pay Paul, and you're going to get to a place where you know what you have, you know what is coming in. You're not going out just on a whiff. You're going to be able to actually know what's coming in, what's your expenditures, and then you're going to be able to put your needs and your wants together. So, in creating this plan, we can talk about the 50-30-20 rule. And these are things that I will just drop these in the, when we talk about, like uh, when I did my course a long time ago, Dave Ramsey, it says like you are going to live like no one will at this time, so you can live like no one can later days. So 50% is what you really need. We're talking about the 50-30-20 rule. So in creating your plan, so 50% of your budget is your needs. 30% is what you really want. And the 20%, we talk about saving and debt repayment, which is a big thing, you know? And when we start this, we start by actually covering all the essentials, and then we're allocating funds for saving and debt repayment, right? So with that, I am going to ask you to take your time to go through what it is that you need. And I am going to be plugging in where you can have this you can download this worksheet to create your personalized budget. Again, I'm going to reemphasize that this can be challenging, but trust me, it works. Take it from someone who have done it. It works. So take your time and go through those steps. And we're going to make sure that we're tackling your debts, the things that keep you, fighting yourself and saying to yourself what it is that you're doing. How am I going to get through with this? We're actually going to make sure that we go through all of these plans with you. So again, you're going to have to make sure that you're really looking at your needs over your wants, right? We're going to look at it. We're assessing our finances, really. It's a reality check, our finances. And then we're actually going to put them in categories, and we're going to be creating a budget. I think I've given you a big chunk of what it is that we're going to be going through when it comes to tackling our debts and making sure that we're in a safe space when it comes to our finances. And in the next video, we're actually going to be talking about the snowball, or as they call it, the avalanche method, where we're tackling our debts. We're going to just take it down, and we're going to make sure that you're at a place where you can actually take care of you as you continue with this budget and take care of it. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to make sure that we're actually doing the things that really apply to you and your finances. Trust me, can be one of the biggest challenge, right? I know it. I've lived it. Um, I've worked with many women who have been through finances. I've worked with women who are actually divorced women, but then I've worked with women who are just going through the challenges. They've separated, yes, but these are women who are just facing these challenges, and it is one of the biggest problem that we face. So I am going to pause here. I'm going to see you in the next video. And I would love for you to take your time and to go through to download the budget plan that I am giving to you. And I would love for you to start to put those things, become naked and become one with your finances. Challenge yourself. I mean, every nook and cranny, you're going to take them out, you're going to put them, you're going to list them. It doesn't matter what it is because you're taking care of the finances, right? And I'm here to help you to take those steps. I have lived it. This is something that I love, love, love to do because I know what it is when it comes to not being able to take care of you financially and your children. So we'll get to work and I'll see you in the next video. Well, well, well. Welcome back. Welcome back to our finances. As you build, as you get to this point where you're talking about your finances and you're trying your best to do the to make sure you're taking care of the things that you really really need to do financially. What you're doing is that you're empowering yourself, right? So financial stability is where you're at right now. You're making sure you're taking care of these things, and guess what? It's going to pay off in the end. It's going to pay off. Trust me, I tell you, this is going to pay off in the end. So you should have by now, you should have by now put all of your list, all of the things that you're paying out, everything, everything that you're paying out for the month, your needs versus your wants, and then you would be at the most looking at what is coming in. If you're working, what's your income like? If you're getting alimony, what is that like? You know, and whatever it is that is coming in, you need to list them, and you would have done them by now. So where are you now? Where are you now? Um, are you a little bit less nervous, or are you a little bit more in your stomach where you're thinking like, oh my word, my world is falling apart? I can tell you that no. You've been through a divorce. And if you're here, your world is not falling apart, your world is coming together. And that's why you're here. And I'm happy that I am able to walk you through these steps. So we're going to be going into the steps as you list them, as you put them in different categories. We're going to, you're going to make sure that you're taking a pause from really just going out there and just shopping just like that. And you're taking the steps that if you look at the chart that I've given you, we'll go to the steps. I'll walk you through them and let you know what goes where, right? So in this, I'm going to be going to my chart and I am going to be helping you to list those things down. So over here, you will see that this is a chart that's here. It's a sample. And what we're doing is that we're going to be going step by step. And one of the biggest thing that I find was that it's the rent or the mortgage, right? The tiny things that we don't talk about is that maybe that payment that you have, you take the children to the doctor and you don't pay that, or you forgot that you have to pay that monthly that you have because your kid have braces now and you have to be paying out those money. We need to put those things down as well, because the big thing is that down the line is that we're going to be able to put money aside for those emergencies. right? So as we go through the list, we're going to make sure not just saying them by name, groceries and or rent or mortgage, but we're going to call them wants and needs, right? How about that? Wants and needs, and the things that, and emergencies, and the things that we just, and spontaneous things that we buy. So here on the list, as we go down, we're going to check off each and every single one of them. And I'll be doing it with you. I'll be doing it with you. I remember when I went through my class, when I went to, with my coach, and she was a financial coach still in my life. And she was telling me to list everything. I was like, I'm not showing her my business. No, I'm not doing it. And because I was ashamed. I carried the shame of not being able to afford the things that I used to afford. And my thing was like, I was in a group setting, so I was not going to disclose my finances. I turned up and I was there, but I was still ashamed of where I was financially. I tell you, a few weeks in, and I was just blurting out everything. I was crying my eyes out because I realized that she was able to help me to go through those steps, and I was not carrying the shame. The shame would be on me to be where I paid for my class and did not take advantage of the knowledge that was being given to me and granted to me that I paid for. So there's no shame here in our game here. The game is to get you financially secure, and that's my thing. I'm going to work with you. You understand? I'm going to make sure that you're going through this. You're not alone. And remember, in this group, you have support. You have support. Remember, the community, the Facebook community. If you're here and you have not joined the Facebook community, that means you're not taking advantage. Because that is where we answer all the questions. That is where each one help one. You have your peer supporting you. I have me supporting you. And I'm quite sure you know that that is where we get things answered immediately. So if you have not joined the Facebook group by now, pause right here, right now and join the support group that we have for you. The trifecta, the trifecta support group is here to help you to get over those hurdles and to get your answers to all those questions. So at this point, we're just going to have make sure that you're at the right place where you're supposed to be right now. And then I'm going to pause right here. I'm going to make sure that you have absorbed your understanding exactly where you are financially and you're able to move on. So this is where you take your time and go through the program. Okay? So I'll see you in the next video. Do the work. There's work to be done. And I know that you are here because you want to get it done. Yeah. All right. So I'll see you over the other side.